So it's been a huge program. It's very timely. It's something that's really important for all of us in our communities. And so we're really happy to be able to bring this. We are also working with the Nottawasapi Huron Band of the Potawatomi, and they have four of the programs, four of the events that are in this 9 event monster that we've done. So the big events are happening this Saturday. I have programs. You're all going to take one home, whether you want to or not. And then it ends with Angeline Lee, who is the author of the New York Times bestseller, Firekeeper's Daughter. We were picked as a Great Michigan Read partner, both the Cultural Arts Center and the library, and that entitled us to 44 new books and the chance to get her to come to our community for free. They only had 6 slots. We did not get one, so we paid to get her to come. And one of the sad parts of this program is we also applied for a grant with the Kalamazoo Community Foundation. And when you think about what this is about and how much it's really intended to educate us and to help us to understand the history through the eyes of the Native Americans that are going to be participating in this we thought was a slam dunk, and we got denied because we are not addressing systemically the issues of racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we're bringing this into our hearts, but that just wasn't enough for the Kalamazoo Community Foundation. So it had a little bit of a gap in funding, but we've had a couple of other nice surprises that have happened with us in the last couple of weeks. Actually applied for, believe it or not, there's still COVID money out there. And we applied for a relief grant and we got some. So there have been a couple of nice surprises there. Gilbert and Ivy have stepped up in terms of helping with funding. The library applied for a grant as well to help pitch in with that. So we're looking pretty good, and we're really excited about the programs that are coming Saturday. First Nations Market, and one of the things that'll be there is it's the only game in like the tri-state area, a guy that does furs and skins, very respectfully, is not a Native American, but he is the guy that all Native Americans go to when they need things like this. And he's got quite a bit of inventory he's going to bring. That'll be at the pavilion. And then we have 5 Native Americans that will be bringing some of the things that they produce. A lot of them will be Native American themed. A lot of them, in fact, all of them are designed by themselves. So they've got one that does screen printing and embroidery, and they do all of that design with themselves. So I think that's going to be fun. The powwow is going to be really extraordinary. One of the cultural specialists from the Potawatomi Band will be talking about that. He'll be emceeing an event, so we'll get real close, real personal. He will really help us to understand what the powwows are all about. He'll talk about the history, and then some of the dancing and the songs that they'll be singing, what the drums mean to them. And then after that, we'll have a reception so that we can talk to tribal members and ask them more questions about what life is like for them. So
Is that going to be at the pavilion?
it is. Yep.
So maybe mention some of the things that are going to be at the library.
Yes, so the at the library, we have 2 things that'll happen. One of them is a panel discussion. There will be 5 tribal members. There will be an elder. The guy that is the chief historical preservation officer will be there. The director of the cultural department. Adeline Big Bear, who is really big on really sharing and broadcasting the kinds of challenges that they are trying to help educate preconceived ideas. So she's actually also a specialist in ISFT. So she'll be the guest speaker, although there will be 2 more that will be participating with her. That'll be the second event at the library. So, and then we have a couple of kids crafts that will also tie into some of the history. One of our other presenters is actually a Native American artist, and she's been around the country quite a bit. So a lot of her artwork really comes from her experiences with many tribal members. She lived on one of the Navajo reservations, and her great grandmother was actually on the Trail of Tears. So she will convey this story next Saturday as part of the program, the broader program. So I really appreciate your support, and I do hope that some of you will be able to be there.
I said, I won't be able to be there. Sorry, unfortunately, I'm out of town on the weekends. Will the author for The Firekeeper's Daughter, will she be doing the book signing?
She will be, yep. And those books will be available for purchase. We prefer that you register. We have about 300 people registered already. It'll be at the high school. And you can reserve copies of the books, and when she gets done talking with us in a more public forum, then we'll be able to ask her some questions. We've got a electronic way to be able to put your questions in. That's just been amazing. This technology, we don't have to do it on little pieces of paper. And after she's done with the questions, then they've really worked through the logistics so that people will be able to get their books signed the way that they want them to, and be able to get those books too.
I recently attended a art forum, I guess that's the best way to say it, in Battle Creek with the American Indians, Native Americans. Their clothing, their artwork.
Okay.
It was very interesting. We had a chance to chat with several people about it. So it was quite a big display, really. And I enjoyed it. It's I got a little French Canadian Blackwood in there somewhere.
Okay.
So yeah, it was pretty interesting to see all that. Yeah, thank you.
And the last thing is, there is a gallery that is in the Prairie Run Gallery space, an exhibit, and that will be open as the bakery is open, that door that goes into that space. So if you have time, that's where almost all of that work has been done by this artist. And it's been influenced by the stories from her great grandmother, as well as her time working with the Navajo and the Cherokees. Would love to have you attend any of this, but if
Don't go far, Cindy. No, I wanted to say thank you, Sid, for everything you do for the village. Very much appreciate it. Sid's very involved behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and a strong and appropriate advocate for the arts. So it's very much appreciated. Thank you. And I have, after Sid's done, I'll have an update for the council.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you so much.
that's it.
Our goal is to sell this event out for the couple.
So you are,
Yeah. We'll down the date and the.
okay. On Facebook. Yes, thank you.
October 21st, it's a full day of exhibits and discussions and food and stories and enjoy.
Probably should talk about the 23rd too, because that's when she's gonna be speaking at the high school. It's Sunday the 23rd at 6 p.m. Oh, Monday, I'm sorry, at 6 p.m.
So we have no public officials down in time.
I have a couple of things, President Frisbee, one from our county commissioner, wanted, could not make it, tonight, but has cleared up Mondays in the future. About Wendy Maisner had 3 points that she wanted to share with the council. The Senior Expo took place on October 3rd at the Expo Center, and over 1,000 people attended. The Justice Center is scheduled to open to the public on December 11th, 2023. And the county commission will be voting on the 24 budget at the October 17th meeting at 7 o'clock if people were interested. I did want to inform the council with the agenda that's in front of you. There was an early edition, doesn't equal the one that was posted publicly. And so you're aware the amount of the warrant reports is $912,167.02. A large portion of that is the construction of the new municipal building. And I would like to inform you, because I don't believe the agenda you're looking at is reference event applications. There was 2 events that took place between our last council meeting on September 18th. Unfortunately, you can see some of the damage that's being repaired in the room. There was a water line break, and we had to cancel the meeting October 2nd. And 2 events staff approved. One was the homecoming parade, and then we had on October 7th, Vicksburg Parents for Protecting Biological Girls' Rights was approved with that reference that event. So I believe the council was informed, but so the public is, that went through legal staff review and under freedom of speech, and that was approved. But on June 15th of 2024, the Kowalski graduation party will begin at 2 p.m. at the Historic Village Pavilion. There will also be a Mesquite graduation party on June 1st of 2024 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's part of the approval process. And the last one is a Winchell Emery's 5th birthday party, and that'll be October 28th of 2023, 2 to 4 p.m. And staff is recommending under the general consent agenda, pretty much specifically.
Thank you. Well, we'll jump to the citizens' comments. Now's the time for agenda items. Don't know if anyone would like to speak. Agenda, now's the time to do it. Seeing none, we'll move on. So we move to the approval of the general consent agenda, and per Jim's updates, the documents are all in our data package. The support the motion by staff. Looking for a motion.
President moves amended. So I support.
Motion made by President Pro Tem Keller, supported by Trustee Wagner. We'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Holmes,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
Trustee Olson,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Is there any other discussion on the consent agenda? Anyone would like to bring up? Thank you so much. That takes us to council action items. And I'll let Jim delve into the demolition of the barn in Leisure Park.
Yes, this has been on our radar for a little over a year. Initially, made attempts to secure appropriate bids or quotes on the project were unsuccessful. The gratitude goes out to Frederick Construction and their staff to handle this in the capacity that they are, and we're able to secure a quote. It is for demolition of the barn that's at Leisure Park. It has deteriorated to the point that staff believes it's in the best interest to bring that structure down. And we're recommending a motion, support, and approval for the village manager to enter into a contract with Frederick Construction to be the project manager to oversee the demolition, project administration, oversight, and scheduling of the NASHAP testing for an amount not to exceed $10,993.95. We do make note to the council that if ACM remediation is needed, the cost is not included in this estimate. And that portion, depending on the amount, will come to the council for approval or be reported at a future council meeting if it meets the manager's discretion to spend. But the $10,993.95 does not include that. Be happy to answer any questions.
Jim, as it relates to that property, I'm just curious, in the event that it's sold, is there an opportunity to recoup that expense, during that transaction?
Yes.
Well, we have an action item in front of us, is this council's desire?
Trustee Wagner, I will move that we approve as recommended for an amount not to exceed $10,993.95 for the project to manage the demolition fund.
Support.
We have a motion by trustee Wagner, support by trustee Reister. Is there a discussion that people would like to have?
Just so the council understands that needs to be for asbestos. Shingle. So the shingle would be tested, if they have asbestos, and that's an additional cost, so. Building grades.
Any other questions? We'll do a roll call, please, Kristen.
Trustee Reister. Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Holmes.
Yes.
Trustee Olson.
Yes,
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes, motion carries. We have 12B, resolution 101623-01, notice of dangerous buildings.
Yes, if, on this is involving, 513 East Prairie Street. It has been an issue brought forward to this council. I have asked, Assistant Village Manager Scott Sanderson to, start and remind the council of the timeline, real quick on this, as well as I've asked, Chris Hamilton to, speak as we proceed forward. So I'll turn it over to, Scott and, Chris.
I'll make this pretty brief. I'll just give you an overview of, again, like Village Manager Miller said, the timeline that we've had with 513 East Prairie. This all started in August of 2021. The case was initiated by Officer Guthrie. There was many things that needed to be done in that location of that structure. In October of 21, we had spoke to Chris Hamilton with South Central Michigan Construction Code Inspections in regards to that location as well, wanted their input. For lack of any other reason, I'm just gonna say that in December, we had the passing of Officer Guthrie, which put things kind of back on this case. Then in May of 22, I took the case. I contacted Ms. Hamilton again on that to see where we were. At that point, a construction building permit was pulled on, 6-month permit, which again put us back waiting to see if any of the repairs and the major repairs that need to be done were done. Then again in March of this year, I spoke with Ms. Hamilton again. Permit for the location had expired, had been done. I believe at that time, the house was, or the residence was condemned, considered a dangerous location again. Then in July of this year, we had a public hearing here in front of the council. There was an agreement set between the structure owner and the attorney, Scott Graham. There was a 3-month extension, if you will, to get everything done. That was to be done on or by September 15th of this year. On September 14th, the village manager received an email requesting for more time, more extensions. At that time, it was basically denied. I reached out to Attorney Scott Brannigan, who had done handling this with y'all. And a resolution, was authored by their office. And here we are tonight, moving forward with this. Litigation. That's it, very quick.
If you'd like, Chris, if you have any additional information on it. Yeah, because I was picked up.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy to announce the sound working. Try to.
I'm just going to back up what, and, it's been very frustrating because he doesn't respond to phone calls. They don't respond to, although they obtained a permit over a year ago. That's a 6 month, another 180 days, we do a one extension. Nothing will even be probably being done. I personally went into the house. If you have enough money, you can save anything. The foundation is completely crumbled in on the backside of the house. It's a based stone wall there. It's not even considered full mason of the furnace is down there. It's very poor construction. A lot of the walls have been removed, so you can see the construction of the 2x4s. It was where I said so it's 2x4, but it's an old construction. But here's a 2x4, and they gap and it's a 2x4. That's what's holding up the house. It's not in good shape. It's not good. And not being able to get a response, from anybody to say, yes, they're gonna move forward, yes, they're gonna do it, and it just looks slow. So it's in pretty good shape. And then I can't tell you what's going on with the animals. That could go on, the cats and the raccoons and the houses and whatever else is there. So if the neighbors were complaining, they had a reason to complain. So while there might be some little bit of action that he wants to do right now, like you said, the 3 month extension didn't get anything. Now he wants more of an extension, and it just is, but it's not in the best interest of the village. But that's it.
Thank you. So the need in front of us tonight is to either execute the resolution or give an extension. So, okay, motion either way.
President Frisbee, I move that we approve the resolution 101623-01 as submitted by staff. Trustee Holmes, I second.
We've, President Pro Tem Keller, second by Trustee Holmes. Now's the time for discussion, questions of Scott or Chris or village manager.
President President. Just so the rest of the council understands, this is a property that is kitty corner from my house. I'll have been in my house Halloween of this year, 33 years. From the time I've been in my house, that house has been vacant for 33 years. This has been a subject that I have kept staff aware of for a number of years. I mentioned to one of my neighbors that the wheels of government run slowly, but it doesn't run. So, that's why I'm proud to put my name as submitting on this resolution and move forward.
Any other comments or questions? We'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Reister,
Yes.
trustee Holmes,
Yes.
trustee Olson,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Goes on to item 13, the village manager report, Mr. Allen.
Yes, we've had discussions in the past that have come up, reference banners to hang downtown in tribute to individuals that have served our country and in the capacity of military. On that, there are a couple items that I would like feedback from the council in what direction, with the plan, to put a draft policy together, on this no later than the second meeting in November, but I believe the first Monday in November, we'll be able to put a draft policy together. Right now, it's operating under that it has to be a Vicksburg resident at one time or another. That is pretty consistent from over half a dozen different municipalities that, it would recognize an individual who has lived in the village of Vicksburg and served this country in a military capacity. It would be in our core downtown, off the lights there, not off lights throughout the town. So it'd be restricted to that area, minus the 4 lights at the main intersection of Main and Prairie. The banners would be up the month of May and the month of November, in those times of recognizing service. And there would be an associated cost to those in an application process that's fairly formal, with application fees, not only at the initial cost of making the banner, but a minimal cost of each time it's taken down and rehung as well as the individual or family that identifies who they would like to be recognized through this application process, could have the banner at any time they want. But right now, that's the premise of it. It's based again on I did talk to the community that Mr. Holmes brought forward in Indiana, and then focused on 6 different municipalities here in the state of Michigan. So I'd like feedback. I guess I'll start with Village of Vicksburg rather than.
Banners or
While we'd be limited to the number of light poles downtown, which are around 30.
would
But
there be just one banner per?
yes, yeah. If we had that many applicants, I could ask the sign shop. I did not ask them, but I could ask them if each side could. But I guess that would all be dependent upon the applications we get. I think timing wise, if the draft policy goes in front of the council and gets approved, that we'd be in a good position in 24 to have those that apply in May and in November. And it would be, like I said, our recommendation, that's most municipalities do. I will, within the policy, it's our recommendation to limit it to military service. I have an approach, as an example, on school recognition. It's staff opinion, but I defer to the council. The schools have plenty of property and plenty of areas to recognize athletes and or academic achievement or any other achievement they want to recognize on their own property. I think it would be our recommendation that this is for the individuals that have served this country as well.
It's amazing what you realize is in front of you when you're sitting in a stoplight. And I was at a stoplight in Pawpaw the other day, and I see the Pawpaw's not doing this. So just kind of throw that out there.
This is great, and I appreciate, I told you this before, I appreciate you making this a priority and get through to fruition. Just to confirm, so the banners would go up from Memorial Day to Veterans Day, is that?
No, it would be the month of May, those 31 days, and the month of November.
Oh, okay, so they go up and then come down,
Right.
and then in November they go up.
Correct. For veterans and memorial.
if you're looking for feedback, I like the direction it's taking. I think the months individually, would help it to stand out more rather than just making it part of the scenery and just have this all summer. So having those select months and times to display them would be advantage, so they're more recognizable and get more, of that attention. And limiting it to the service numbers, I think is appropriate as well with the timelines we've already identified. So I like it going forward.
If I could follow up with trustee Wagner's comments, Jim, as far as, prioritization, is it gonna bingo balls, fixing a pitch around, or is it gonna be first come first served, or the VFW, the Vicksburg, VFW folks?
Yeah, we work in getting communication out that, Vicksburg resident have a whole application that a person would fill out. I think most of the communities I have a narrative of the person's service time written by whoever's putting in. And hope, it'd be a blessing if there's enough interest in that exceeds the amount of polls. I guess at that time, we figure out what alternatives and options exist.
I hope the experience and what was seen in the community Jim's talking about, down in Indiana, because they actually had so much interest that there's a waiting list for a couple of years, to get out. So, yeah, I mean, no, I hope, yeah.
And on the other item is municipal building has reached a stage that's going to move pretty quick. Some finished painting being done on the administrative side, drywall's being finished, the outside metal siding was completed today. Gutters should go up. You'll see and appreciate everyone's patience, especially the community, with our parking lot of Village Hall being torn up. That's where a pad for the dumpster is going to be. But I think when they see how the neighborhood's closed off and the parking lot with the amount of green space will be pretty impressive. As well, we're coordinating, and Scott's helping me out with this, the logistics of our IT movement, mainly servers and police servers, and making sure that we follow the correct procedures put in place for the governance of that. We do anticipate those moves being initiated in the later half of November. However, due to the timing of asphalt and that the structure will have a temporary parking lot, I anticipate that the month of May, depending again on spring weather, that the parking lot and landscaping will be put in. And right now, the tabletop exercise is to have a open house on the building in conjunction to the May 18th date when the community birthday party was moved to celebrate the 151st and 1/2 year celebration. And it should be the largest half-year celebration of any municipality in the history of the municipality. Yes.
Will we be tearing down the other building?
If after after physical things are moved into the new building, there will be some inventory that we'll be evaluating, whether it's tables, chairs, if it's best to work through South County Community Services, or what it means to repurpose that or dispose of it. And before the end of the year, and it would be within a couple weeks of the move into the building that it should take like 3 days to 4 days that the existing one will come down. There will be times that we're looking at right now. Obviously, the police department's a 24/7 operation, and they'll be fully staffed. There could be the potential that Village Hall would operate with the drop box in place and staff have, which we're all set up to do, to remote in and work from home and have limited, hopefully we don't do that, with the council apprised, but there is a chance that could happen, on the move. The priority is to get these police servers in place and the police side of the operation fully functional upon this move. And then like to note that we're under budget right now and it's still a cash deal, so
So,
it's a report.
thank you so much for that, Jim. So that takes us to a committee report, and I'm gonna jump across.
Michelle just looked at me like I better not have
It's
cheese.
Nobody said. What? Well, I'm gonna skip a few of them, we'll just jump right to the planning commission, there are updates for planning.
There was President. Briefly, first, one of our own, was, sworn in to be, on the planning commission, Colin Bailey, he's back. It was great to see Colin. Then also, a couple of things, there was a master plan update, from Kyle Musha with McKenna. And, so we're at the point now where everything is in the document, it was given to the planning commission, we're reviewing it, but any comments then going to Jim, who would then forward to McKenna. The idea is, and Jim helped me here, but I believe in November, we're looking at, discussing the final plan and then, from there, we would come to the council. Is that kind of the path? Yeah.
Yeah, what it will be presented is to move to a 63-day public comment time. So it go in front of the planning commission on the 13th for their input recommendation to go to the council on November 20th. Then it'd be posted for 63 days worth of public comment on the draft document. Solicit and receive those comments, report back after 63 days, which I believe we have third meeting in January is the audit presentation. I think it's scheduled for the first meeting in February to come back through the planning commission and council for final adoption. And council will be receiving those documents to review yet this week. Planning commission has provided them last week. So they'll have, both entities have them a month before they go in front of the bodies.
Thanks, Jim. And, a couple updates on some, site plans that are being reviewed. Kepco is looking at enlarging the building and also adding a parking spot, and also there's, some work that's being done on a lot in Major Park. Lastly, I'll just share that the DDA grant applications are on the website and also has been distributed to the businesses. That's my report.
Thank you, Jim. The South County Sewer and Water Authority, a little update. They've entered into a contract, this is on their second quarter, and with Gull Lake Sewer and Water Service, and they've had a reduction in their operating expenses, but the total expenses increased, but their cost per failure has gone down. So I think it's been a pretty good move on their part. I think we all know and discussed the St. Joe County collaboration. Their wastewater feasibility is in draft form, and unfortunately, the $40 million projected numbers have dropped. They said $62 million. Oh, this is just in the last eight months of this study taking place, so it's pretty dire, and this is the cost that are impacting a lot of operations like this. So another item was Schoolcraft. I think we were told by their legal entity we're operating outside of the law. Schoolcraft has not adopted their articles of resolution that we adopted 8 months ago. And so I have to vote
Can we just have clarification? You're using the vernacular, we are out of compliance,
Right.
that you're not speaking of we in this room.
Thank you.
I'm just, thank you.
Yes, and I need to be a little bit more clear in that the South Carolina Sewer and Water Authority could be operating in Schoolcraft, particularly operating outside law without that resolution in place. So as it stands now, our resolution adoption is not in effect until Schoolcraft signs it. So we are still voting members of that group. Thank you for that.
You could stay in my bed, and I was not nice. You don't like that.
Right, I'll try that next time. And that's it from there. We have a fire update perhaps?
Yeah, we actually have a meeting this Wednesday, but, last month's meeting, we had a report. ISO was in, not only Vicksburg, but also Schoolcraft. Jim could probably speak this better than I can, so I'll let you explain what ISO is.
ISO is the, insurance, sets insurance rates, and part of that impact on the insurance rates for the community is a fire department or municipality being scored a 1 through 10. Very rare that ISO community would be rated 1. There is, I believe, one agency that was a 1 in this county. It's the best. It's providing has response time, water capacity, personnel, equipment's evaluated. So for like the village of Vicksburg, we have a water system, be it fire hydrants and that. We were contacted by the ISO representative and basically turned over the keys and said, pull any hydrant you want, get the pressure and have the documentation. We're confident that we supply proper and appropriate water pressure for our residents.
The big thing with us, with the ISO individual that comes into town, you're not given an option. You will comply. If you don't comply, then you get stuck with a nice number of 10. And that affects everybody's insurance rates inadequately. Or that I was informed that our village manager was more than happy to help out any way we could. So they, and as he said, they pick which hydrants they're gonna test. You don't get to tell them which ones, they pick them. Usually they're on the outer skirts of the community, but that's, if you have less pressure, that's what it's gonna be. I can tell you as of last month's meeting, unfortunately, our sister village to the west of us have not complied as of yet. So I don't know what that means for that community, but, the ISO individual was not getting the same cooperation from their village that we were doing. So I don't know where that's going. I can't speak to it. I just know that we're informed of that. The apparatus committee also did meet, to look over our existing tanker truck that we have, with the idea that we were checking the chassis out on to make sure that instead of looking to, even though we have purchased a pumper tanker, brand new one, that will be delivered in 3 years, that we might be able to get by with just replacing the tank on this existing one, thereby saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it looked like that was going to be possible. So hopefully Wednesday we'll hear more about that. And we will be making our first payment on the new truck, either this month or next month. So that was good. That's it.
Now, do you know what our ISO rating is?
I believe it was 4 or 3.
I thought we were 3 last time here.
It might be a split rating because of the amount of areas that's covered.
It does,
Fire chief,
it does affect your insurance.
but it's insurance service office is ISO with the acronym stands for, it basically is the evaluator of how prepared you are to fight fire.
According to what we were told, our rating was decent, and it was acceptable.
It's a rating as a 3 as a paid on call, it should be pretty proud rather than a 4. You know, of those numbers, because the entire area is, meaning you're serving rural areas that do not have, hydrant water supply, which is gonna impact that. It's also gonna impact response times versus a city of Kalamazoo with multiple news stations. Shout out to them for being nice so long.
All right, so that takes us through committee reports, and we're on the citizens' comments for anything they wish to speak of. Now's the time to do it, if you would. Your name, address.
Good evening. My name is John Spencer. My address is 5695 Woodward Street, Schoolcraft, Michigan, 49087. I'm not a member, so I'm a resident of the village of Vicksburg. I'm here to introduce myself to the council. I am the district manager with State Representative Matt Hall's office. This is the first time I've been able to make it out to one of these Vicksburg Village Council meetings, and gotta say, I'm rather impressed. Well-oiled machine going on here. So just a little bit about me. I grew up in Schoolcraft basically my entire life. I know the district like the back of my hand, and what I do for the office is I come and attend the meetings in the district that the representative can, since he's got prior commitments in Lansing. Serve a little bit as a thermostat, I try to keep my finger on the pulse of any problems that arise in the district, so we can already work on legislative fixes in Lansing, and I am a heavy constituent services guy, so if anyone within your village has any problems with either any state agency, or they have any legislation they need more information about, or, they just like to voice their opinion on, you could definitely point them my way, anything like that, and just to provide a brief little update. I'm sure you folks are well aware that the governor had announced her plan for the second half of the year. Her stating that she plans to bring Michigan completely off any fossil fuels, completely renewable energy by either 2030 or 2035, depending on whether you're talking to the state house or state senate right now. And within this, he's also sizing up, taking away local control from our local governments on the zoning for solar and wind farms. So we know that a lot of our local municipalities they like to keep their local control, so we just want to announce our support that we're looking to help retain local control for our townships and our municipalities around here. And certainly, if there are any further questions going forward, I'd be more than happy to help answer them. I've got business cards for the council if you're gonna be interested in my approach.
Question. Yes, Matt Hall's forming a citizens committee. I got an email on it the other day. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so if you don't mind, if you respond to what they please.
Because it's,
Thank you, Joe.
All right, back into my turn. So yeah, looking together, it's a group of people that people can come and they can interact with their legislator, they can ask questions, and they can get an update. It's just a way for us to keep two ways of communication between us and our district, keep people informed, and make sure we're fielding questions and things like that off the jump.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Also, he's established, listening hours, I think it's the 4th Tuesday of the month at the Vicksburg Library from 11 to noon at the quiet room in the library. They'll be distributing more information out. I got an email earlier, about 2:30 this afternoon. State Representative Matt Hall, staff will have listening hours, which will be the 4th Tuesdays of the month. Begins Tuesday, October 24th from 11 a.m. to noon at the quiet room of the Vicksburg District Library. Scheduled at this time for the 4th Tuesday of each month through January. However, it will not occur in December due to the holidays. And constituents of the 42nd District are invited to stop by. talk with staff members or other members of the staff, and it's just been Tim Falvey.
Yeah, I like them both. Yeah, this is something that, just getting off the ground, selected 4 libraries around the district for us to be done to try to do it each week. We'll most likely be week staffing, if not, Tim Culver, so certainly you can stop by with anything, it's always a pleasure to talk with you guys and hopefully we'll put something up out there. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I do want to thank you folks for having me tonight. I hate to be rude, but I must dismiss myself. I don't have anything I'm planning.
Thank you, John. Thanks, I appreciate it.
I'm good.
You do. Trustee takes us to, nobody else is getting up, it takes us to, trustees time. I'll start with, Mr. Olson.
Thank you, sir. Tim, sorry for your loss. Just missed it, and you seem to be a very, very knowledgeable, but very nice gentleman. Christian, thank you once again for helping my wife with the water bill. She greatly appreciates it. Scott, my wife loves you. Even like every time she's got a question or that, you're right there. And my computer's got a little reminder thing that keeps flipping up anniversaries and everything else. And I see that 6 years ago last night, Vicksburg welcomed you to the village. So happy anniversary. Thank you, sir, for everything you and your department do. Thank you.
Trustee Wagner.
Very few comments this evening. I'd just like to say go Lions. Happy 5-1. So looking forward to the rest. And the efforts that the village has had to promote the outdoor tourism and broadcasting of those games in the core downtown, I think it's been a really cool effort. So as a fan, it's appreciated and it's seen, and it's very cool that we get some positive recognition from it. So looking forward to continuing the work.
Trustee Reese.
Just like to encourage everybody to attend this weekend. The Cultural Arts Center has gone way above and beyond, I think, this time for the destination. And it sounds incredibly interesting. So I hope that you'll take advantage of all these cultural possibilities that we're getting to have in our community. And I know that I'm going to be attending quite a few of these, and I hope that the rest of the public will too.
Trustee Holmes.
Would like to thank Village Manager Mallory once again for the veteran banners, and having had a chance to meet with veterans, local veterans, and especially the local VFW chapter. On one level, if you haven't served, it may be hard to understand why it's important to these men. But I can tell you, when I was talking with them in April, you could see the pride on their face. This is to be recognized and have the ability for the community to recognize, and this is big. This is really, really big, guys. So I again, thank you, Jim. I sincerely appreciate it. And very briefly, last council meeting, we had I would say a nice initial discussion regarding housing in our community. And it's interesting, we're looking at the master plan at the same time. And I did some additional research and data that I've obtained that is actually really interesting. I'm going to refrain from going through it tonight. It's been a long night. But I also believe at some point, as we're moving forward, that I'll definitely reach out to President Frisbee and Village Manager Mallory to see if there's an appropriate time for that information to be shared with you. Thank you.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Brought the cats meeting off through, meeting with Andy. I just, a lot of things go on there. So
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Do you mind if I?
no, yeah.
I did jump ahead and for Mr. Mallory, I had just written, I know we have trustee Wendy Fields on also. So trustee Fields, would you like to have an input, comments?
Just can you hear me?
Yes.
Still, thank you, even if she's not still.
She is.
Thank you. The events at the cultural arts center, responsible. Which council got together for strategic planning sessions, and when we talked to the community, about the master plan, one of the big things that we heard and discussed is having this art and culture and different events that our community and everyone in our community can experience and don't have to go to Grand Rapids or even Kalamazoo. We are now getting these just fabulous events right in our own little town. And Sid, you are extremely responsible for that and your entire team. So again, to echo everyone else, thank you. I think it's things like this and all the other events that we've done in past years. No wonder that more people want to move to Vicksburg, that more businesses want to come to Vicksburg and get in on just all of the great things that are happening. So thank you. Oh, and Ryan, yes, go Lions.
Thank you, Miley. That was perfect. Got the cut off Carl for dropping cats. Thank you.
Sorry, well, I didn't know cats, I didn't even dovetail into that, but, I want to personally thank, Mary already, he came to the Lions Club last Monday night at my request. Again, the president of that club, and one of these days I'll get glad no meeting so he can join. But he gave a brief update on what the village has been doing with the club before he dash off to the planning commission meeting. So I do want to say thank you very much. The club was very appreciative, and the club did make a donation towards the village for the event, so it wasn't too much of a strong arm. The other thing said, I will not be able to be there on Saturday. I'm flying to North Carolina. My son and his family are moving back to Vicksburg, believe it or not. They'll be in the new subdivision up by Wakefield Reformed Church. So,
Carl, I apologize. I have this fan going back here and it's difficult to hear. But did you mention the Lions Club made a donation to the birthday events? And then I heard Sid's name, but I didn't know if that was with the Rotary Club or that.
no, no.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. I didn't know the Lions did make a donation.
Sure, the Rotary. You know that rule of so.
I just did realize Sid was the president of the Rotary Club as well. She wears a lot of hats.
I'm the only club president to actually sing in the showboat, I think, back in the day.
Thank you. Thank you. I really picked a bad night to have a speech, but I kind of do, right? I want to get pretty good. I want to personally thank Steve and Brenda Schiff for 35 years of investing in this village with their hard work. You know, congratulations on them retiring, but that is really, really awesome. I'm excited to welcome John and Melanie DeBall as the new owners of the journey. So congratulations, and Don for me, please. That's great. I'd also like to share a statement, by Steve in the South County article. The village of Vicksburg has continued to make great investments in our downtown and around the entire village, which has seen new businesses move in and new families as well. We in additions, making the last 3 years our best 3 years. So, what we're doing as a village, everything we're doing here is paying off for the people that live here and invest here in the community. So thank you for that. Jim, I wanted to thank you for my handler. He checked my phone, checked my notes, checked my agenda, my pen, forgot to check my book. But the bird days of summer, the book. And Jim can maybe pull one out. I want to thank Jim, I want to thank the staff for having the foresight to create that book. Yeah, zoom over to him right now. Show that book.
This is actually Sid's, because Sid authored a letter as part of this representing the Cultural Arts Center.
Yeah, we got him that last meeting, but I'll definitely show it up. So, this is phenomenal. It's just, I just wanted to thank you for, putting this together. I had an extra copy, so I donated it to the Vicksburg Library. And if anybody would like to see it, all these pictures, you might see yourselves in there. Beautiful. It just, we had 3 ladies, business owners contribute to the articles in there. So thank you for that so much. And special thanks to Randall Hartman for the photos. So, that was it. That's it. I'm finished, sorry. So, thank you all for coming tonight, bearing with us in this long meeting. Move to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Thank you all. Meeting adjourned.